Welcome to the Minnesota State Fair Milking Parlor. We're sorry that there aren't any cows being milked right now, but we've got a special cow that we're going to milk for you so you can see what goes on here when we do have cows milking. To enter the number. The first thing that we do is that a cow's number is entered into the computer so we can identify which cow is being milked and how much milk she's giving. And Jan's going to prepare the cow for us, and this is something that all dairy farmers do before milking their cows. They prepare the cows. They maybe use slightly different methods, but it's all pretty much the same. First of all, she's going to apply some spray. We call this actually teat dip, and this sanitizes the cow's teats. We want to make sure that we clean off the cow's udder very carefully so we can produce quality, wholesome milk. In addition to this, we want to make sure that the cow doesn't have bacteria getting up into her udder and creating problems, so it's very important. And it's also a very important part of the process of preparing the cow for milk. You notice that Jan is carefully wiping off the teats, and this is to dry the teats, and it's also to make sure that the cow is stimulated for milk production. All cows need to have some kind of stimulus before they will let down their milk. That stimulus gives their brain a signal to release oxytocin, and that's what causes the milk to be let down. And as you can see, Jan is stripping out each quarter of the cow, so she's carefully taking a stream of milk out of each quarter, and she takes a good look at that to make sure that the milk looks good. This is one of our many quality control checks that are used when milking our cows. Normally, if you're going to milk a cow, she'd take 5 to 7 minutes to milk. It could take half an hour to milk out a heavy producing cow by hand, and that would be somebody who's experienced at hand milking. And now we're ready to put the milking unit on the cow. You notice that Jan's wearing milking gloves. A lot of farmers use milking gloves, and so this is so they don't transfer any of their germs on their hands onto the cow's udder. And as you can see, Jan's applying each of the teat cups. Those are what the silver cups are called. They're lined with rubber. And those rubber cups that are inside gently squeeze the cow's teats, mimicking a calf suckling. And that's what brings the milk out. Now you can see the milk traveling into the milker, through the hose, and into the weigh jar. And the weigh jar weighs the milk each time you see that the milk being released. Each time it's released, that milk gets sent to our computer and automatically tracks how much milk that cow is giving. So right now you see the cow's ID, and you see that she's given, well, now 1.2 pounds of milk. For every gallon of milk, there's 8.6 pounds in a gallon. So she's a little ways from producing that gallon of milk. Cow's milk is 87% water, and so she needs to consume a lot of water to produce a lot of milk. Jan is checking to see how far along the cow is in milk, checking to see if she's getting close to done. We do that by feeling the udder as well as sometimes feeling the hoses and watching for the milk flow down in the milking claw there. As you can see, the cow's standing there quite comfortably. They're very used to having milk machines on. They like being milked. It relieves pressure on their udder, so they actually enjoy getting milked and having that pressure relieved. Most cows are milked twice a day. However, there are farms that milk their cows 3 or maybe 4 times a day. And again, a lot of times that happens with the higher producing cows. Now Jan's taking off the milker. The cow is done. She's just checking to make sure that everything's all right. She'll shut off the vacuum. That releases the milker. Then after the milker is released, The cow is going to be sprayed again with some iodine solution. Once again, to make sure no germs get up into the teats. And we're sending the milk weight to the computer. So our ID number comes up, 902. And her milk weight, we're recording that. It gets recorded in the computer, and then we also have a cross-check system here at the State Fair. We write it down on a notepad as well, just in case we lose power during our computer transaction. She's given 13.4 pounds of milk, so about a gallon and a half, a little less than a gallon and a half. And again, this cow was milked recently, so this is not her full half day's production. Now we're going to clean the system. In between each cow, we do what's called a back flush. And the back flush runs a sanitizing solution through the milking unit. And that ensures that the milker is clean for the next cow. Milk is never touched by human hands, so it's incredibly clean. And all of the milking equipment, the milker unit and the pipes and everything, are automatically cleaned by an automatic washing system to ensure that you have the cleanest, safest, most wholesome product when you get it in your home. We're in our milk house, and this is where the milk comes to after it leaves the cow. First it comes to this receiver jar, and from this receiver jar, the milk is pumped across these pipes into what we call a plate cooler, and that's this cooler right here. This cooler cools down the milk to well water temperature, because milk, when it comes from the cow, is very warm. It's going to be between 98 and 101 degrees Fahrenheit when it leaves the cow. This cools down to well water temperature, about 50 degrees, and then it travels over here through the silver pipe again into our bulk tank. And the bulk tank, when it's on and has a full tank of milk and it's totally cooled down, will cool down to 38 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit. The milk is never touched by human hands. Once the milk truck comes, the milk truck hooks up a hose to this tank, pulls the milk out, and takes it in a cooled tank to the milk processing plant. Thanks for visiting the Moo Booth and Milking Parlor at the Minnesota State Fair. We hope you enjoy some of our other exhibits as well. Thank you for coming, and have a great day.